Hi, I'm Amaya, and welcome back to my channel.
Earlier this year, I did a video on Cat's Eye after they released Gnarly, where I commented on their direction at the time and gave some advice on where I think they should go. That was kind of a soft rebranding of the group, with them teasing a more mature and experimental style compared to what they did at debut. Now that the original American girl group under a K-pop company, Vicha, has rebranded into GIRLSET, I have even more concerns about them. I feel really disappointed with GIRLSET's rebranding. I agree with a lot of people that it seems low budget or rushed, and honestly, it may have been. When companies make decisions like this, there are a lot of different factors to take into account. I know through reading JYP's investor reports that they have been planning a Vicha/GIRLSET comeback for a while before this was actually released. Vicha is supposed to have a comeback. Now, this report was from Q1. We are now in Q3 and we have no announcement of a comeback, so I'm not sure if they're going to go through with that. However, if I was only listening to this song for my personal enjoyment, it wouldn't have kept my interest. As far as the lyrics, music video, and sound, none of them stood out enough to catch my attention. The song is too short, and honestly, instead of crafting out a unique sound for GIRLSET's re-debut, it sounds like they asked for an ITZY-sounding song. I will say, the girls have definitely improved in terms of synchronization and vocals. They also sound a lot more confident in their interviews than they did when they were in Vicha. I also think it was a good decision to go for a more mature concept, since the girls are all older now and the youngest members left. I also like their styling, and it really complements their new concept. In an interview with Kiss FM, the girls talked about how Commas was a bridge between a familiar sound and the next style they're going to do, and this is why they chose to have Commas as their debut song.
Like we said, Commas is more like a bridge between a familiar sound, I guess, that people can be like, oh, okay, this sounds familiar and it's fun. And the next ones are going to be a little bit different, a style that we're heading towards.
Okay, so we're going to get a lot of different
But it's
sound.
very different from Commas. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say something controversial here. Normally when I talk about established groups, I say that I want their singles to be cohesive and slowly transition into a new sound over time. However, I think we could have skipped that and went straight into GIRLSET's style. To me, GIRLSET is a completely new group from Vicha with a new name, new concept, and 2 fewer members, so I don't mind them jumping straight into what they're going to do going forward. I don't foresee them singing YO Universe or Ready for the World anymore, especially when they wipe their social media of their old posts. So I think the best decision here would have been to go for a different style song. I think one easily recognizable feature would have been enough to make this a successful comeback. The song could have been catchier, more unique, longer, the music video could have been more visually interesting, or they could have even promoted it better. In that same interview I mentioned earlier, they said that Commas was a dance song, but I don't really think it sounds like that. I couldn't imagine someone playing that in a club or at a party. It's too reminiscent of their sound when they were Vicha to be a real dance song. When we look at the biggest pop albums from last year, Brat, Hit Me Hard and Soft, Cowboy Carter, Eternal Sunshine, Short and Sweet, these albums all had a clear artistic vision. GIRLSET doesn't need to be a chart-topping group, but I feel like it's obvious that you should take inspiration from the most successful people in your field. We even have a better example for some artistic inspiration under JYP Entertainment with Twice. Strategy and This Is For would have worked as GIRLSET songs. I think JYP might be a little confused because Twice is doing a better job appealing to the American market right now than GIRLSET is. I actually took the liberty of putting together a sample of the style I'd want to hear from GIRLSET going forward, so you can listen to that now.
Don't get comfortable, cause any minute now. Act like an angel and dress like crazy.
If we look at Vicha's promotional strategy from the beginning, they didn't promote much. They dropped a music video for their pre-debut single YO Universe and promoted it on music shows for 2 days, but they didn't promote their debut on music shows. I would think that you should promote your debut song more than your pre-debut. They performed on some YouTube channels, but they don't have any physical albums. I don't think Commas is the first single for a new album because they never said they were working on an album, but I really don't want single after single after single without any actual projects. At the very least, they could promote on talk shows because young people don't really listen to the radio. When I said that the music video for Commas isn't visually interesting, I don't mean that it's ugly, but there isn't very much going on. In all of the videos, there are only 2 to 3 sets, and the girls are either dancing or walking around and singing to the camera. I would like to see them doing a little more. Maybe we could have had some more storytelling for the music video. You know, the kind of things that they did in their first couple videos as Vicha. Finally, GIRLSET needs to build a brand. Your group can make the best music in the world, but it doesn't matter if they don't have a brand. Doing interviews is fine, although a lot of the time they're answering questions that we've heard them answer before. But I would like to see more content that shows who the members are. This is something Vicha lacked in the beginning, because most of the content where we saw their personalities was from A2K, which was filmed before they even debuted. Can they play some games on YouTube? I think this is a good way to get attention, because even if the music isn't hitting, people might still watch because they're invested in the group. Next year, I want to see them perform. Maybe they can finally perform at Lollapalooza. I'd like to see them at the VMAs. I know at the end of the year, iHeartRadio does an award show and they have some K-pop groups perform there. Maybe they could do that. It would also be interesting to see them do some brand deals. I didn't want to directly compare them to Cat's Eye, but they have a brand that people are interested in. We always see them advertising something. Jeans, Invisalign, Waze. Even though for me personally, I feel like Cat's Eye's product placement is a little over the top, GIRLSET could do a little bit of this. Maybe this would help them get the budget up a little bit and address that issue that we talked about earlier where it seemed like the video was low budget. If you watched my video where I gave advice to Cat's Eye, I said that they should do more music related to the girls' cultures because they really promoted the diversity of the group. I would want to use the global nature of their group to make music in different styles, such as Afrobeats and Latin pop, instead of just making American pop music. Currently, there are very few girl groups aimed at a global audience, and experimenting by blending pop with the members' cultural music is a great way to differentiate them from other artists. And their Latin pop song, Gabriella, is actually their best performing song thus far. So I hope that GIRLSET does more dance pop, and I think that they could really perform well. I think that would be their way of breaking into the mainstream and becoming well known in the same way that Cat's Eye is known now. If you have any other ideas, let me know in the comment section, and I'll take it to the outro.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to like, leave a comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you will be notified every time I post a video. See you guys in the next one. Bye!